Hometown Murder Tour is a true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only, assuming you find us entertaining.
That being said, stories of violence, sexual assault, and other criminal acts will be discussed, using adult language. Consider this your warning.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Our jingle?
Do it.
Welcome to WTAF with HMT.
And stop.
And that's it.
Yep, that's all we got. We're going to add a keyboard, people, so get excited.
We've got this. So yeah.
And actually, does anyone have a keyboard we can borrow?
Or can play the keyboard.
That too. Although they have those just preloaded, like you push a button and it's got like the Mamba or something
just
in the background.
A demo. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We'll work on something.
Yeah, and then like a drum beat to end it.
I can get us one of those.
Okay, let's do it.
We're going to work on this, and then our WTAF episodes are going to be...
For now, it's a cappella,
right,
people. And you're welcome.
You're welcome. So, as you already know, this is another WTAF with HMT episode.
So I'm Sarah.
I'm Amy. And
at this point, we want you guys to be able to tell who's who when we're talking. So you better have this shit down.
There will be a quiz afterward.
Yeah.
If you're just now joining this podcast, we are Hometown Murder Tour.
Yes. That's the parent company.
That is the parent company. We drive around town. We talk about our hometown murders. This is sort of an extra little thing we want to do, sort of like a little mini episode every now and then where it's not necessarily murder stories. It's not
even necessarily in Springfield, Missouri.
No, just crazy stories that make you say, what the actual fuck?
Yeah. And there's a metric fuck ton of these stories out there.
There are.
I stole that line from Dexter, by the way, my favorite all-time show.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Okay, sorry. Go.
So while we're talking about this, though, if you happen to have any what the actual fucks, or if you maybe want us to talk, you can always either tweet at us at Murder Tour.
Yep.
On the twits, or
we do have email.
Yes,
and we decided it was what
417 HMT at Gmail.
Yep.
So email us links, email us your WTAFs, 417 HMT at Gmail. And yeah, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Look into that.
Because you know what? We're lazy. So it would help us out a lot if
you actually tell us what to talk about. So do that. Also get us a keyboard. Figure out that Gmail.
Make a list of what you need to do for us.
Yep.
Okay. Are we ready?
We are ready.
I think it's your turn.
It is my turn.
All right.
So my story begins with a 61-year-old woman named Mary Stewart. I'm going to say Cerruti.
Mary Stewart Masterson?
Yes.
Is she an actress?
Yes. Last name is Cerruti. So Cerruti. We're going to go with that. Mary Stewart Cerruti. She vanishes without a trace in 2015.
Okay. So fairly recent.
Yeah. Neighbors started to kind of get a little troubled after her lawn started to kind of grow wild. They started noticing mail piling up. There's actually a Google image photo from the house from June of 2015 that kind of shows the street view shows it's kind of overgrown. The lawn is unmanicured. Her car's in the driveway.
And that was June. When did you say this story takes place?
2015.
Okay,
so
you didn't have a date.
In June of 2015, there's a Google Street View where it's showing her house looking kind of ragged and the yard and all that kind of stuff. The police were contacted around the same time. Once neighbors were kind of like,
something's not right.
What's going on?
Because I feel like Mary probably keeps a tidy yard.
I think once they kind of started noticing, and maybe like not completely 100% perfect, but enough that after a while they're like, okay.
Enough is enough. Actually, they weren't calling to check on her.
They were just pissed about
They were pissed. And they're like, get your shit together, Mary.
Mary, what the hell?
Yeah. We're sick of it.
Right. So, and one neighbor apparently even hired a private investigator to, like, look into it. They were, like, that concerned about it.
Really pissed.
Right?
Don't mess with that guy.
Right. The bank eventually foreclosed on her home in September of 2015. So, like, several months.
I mean, no one's, like...
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, again, this is
Is this the lady stuck in the elevator?
Holy shit! No.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the bank forecloses on her home, and then a missing persons report was issued by the Houston... This is in Houston, Texas. The Houston PD issues a missing persons report, like, right about when the home is foreclosed. Okay. So it's like, now it's legit. She was described as, quote, slight, standing 5'3" and weighing 110 pounds. So, like, tiny little woman, 61 years old. According to the missing persons report, it says she was last seen in either February or March of 2015. So she was last noticed, they say, at the latest of March.
She's so tiny, maybe they missed her.
Right. Touche. Okay. So March of 2015, June is when they're like, the house is pretty janky, the lawn's pretty rough. That's a long
time for people to, like, not notice she's around.
Right.
People are assholes.
Notice
me.
Notice.
That's why I'm so loud, people.
Right. That's
just
why
in case I go missing.
Right.
They'd be like, why is
Which
it so
we'll
quiet?
Get into that.
Sarah's not here.
That's why something's
it's so
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Call the police.
Yes.
Speaking of...
Or skip calling the police, just foreclose on the house.
I feel
like that happened before they called the police.
It did, actually. So it's fine. Well, no, they called the police. And this says some neighbors tried issuing a missing persons report, but were turned away because they weren't relatives or more closely linked to her. Is that a thing? I feel like, do you have to be related or closely linked to someone?
Yeah, apparently you have to give your DNA. They have to make sure there's some sort of familial link.
Proof of, like...
No, I thought you could just do wellness checks on your neighbors.
Yeah, well, apparently... I don't know.
Not in Houston.
And maybe they did do a wellness check. I don't know. They did say around the same time over the summer, apparently she used to feed a bunch of, like, neighborhood cats. Oh. And she wasn't around to feed them.
Oh, it's starting to become clear.
Mm-hmm.
Cat lady.
So, but they ended up calling animal control because now there's just a bunch of feral cats running around that aren't being fed. So anyway, there started to be a lot of theories about what happened. Was she murdered? Why is she gone? Was she committed to a mental institution? Some people even thought she was sort of the last holdout there was a bunch of apartments going in the neighborhood, and they wanted to kind of take over the neighborhood.
Ooh, and a conspiracy theory.
Right? Her little home, she was kind of the last holdout.
To give up her property.
Still hadn't given up her property, and everybody kind of cheered her on.
Well, that sure made it easy for him, didn't it?
Right. So what some people said is they're like, maybe she's, like, hiding because she ended up giving in and is, like, embarrassed about it. Nobody really knew where she was. It said that she was very kind of reclusive. She kept to herself. She didn't go outside much.
People!
Right.
Go say hi to your neighbors.
You have to be, like, I understand wanting to be inside and not do, but, like, I text people. Like, I talk to people. Like, I have, like, people, I would think, would, like...
I would think people would.
Hey, we haven't heard from her in a couple days.
Right.
Like, what's going on?
72 cats in her front yard.
Right.
Maybe we should check on her.
Right. So eventually, home is foreclosed. The house is emptied out. Okay. So, like, no one's in the... I guess they had searched, did a wellness check or whatever. Like, no one's in the home.
I don't like where this is going.
So, well, I mean, that's kind of the point of WTAF.
Oh, yeah. Got it. I forgot where we were for a second.
Right. So the house was emptied out. Workers came in. It says they had masks. They cleaned it out. There were several dead cats. I think about 6 they found in the home. So, like, I know. They just, like, died. No trace of her. Like, she is not
They ate her.
They ate her body.
Is that a thing?
I mean, I don't think.
Okay.
I think they would probably find them. And anyway, like, legit, she has vanished. Okay. She is gone. Mary Cerruti has disappeared. Over time, the home is renovated. They put a new roof on the home.
So the apartments didn't take over it.
No.
Like it's still
like
a home.
Some other
People
developer
live in it.
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, so new home, like they paint it, they fix it up, they get a new roof on it, new windows, it goes on the market, somebody buys it, and they put it up. It's a renter home. Okay, so at this point, it's March of 2017. So she was sort of last seen-ish.
2015?
March 2015, February or March. It's now 2 years later, people move in.
Okay.
The new renter is a guy. He had lived there for a couple days, and he is just like, living in his home, like moving in. He's up in the attic, and he's looking around, and he notices, while he's up in the attic, there's the small hole in the attic floor where a board has kind of been like shifted and like moved. Okay? He walks over to it. He looks down. And at the bottom, like on ground level, he sees a human skull.
No, he does not.
And bones. Okay? There's nothing else there in between the walls. So it's like in between the walls.
Like between
looking down.
The exterior wall and an interior wall.
I think between two interior walls, like in the
two
hall.
interior walls.
Yes, so he's up in the attic.
That is tiny.
He looks down.
Slight, if you will.
Slight. We're getting to that.
Okay. I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah. So there's nothing else there except some tattered rags around the bones and a pair of cheap red reading glasses. It also says that animals had disturbed the skeleton.
Well,
so,
sure.
I mean, yeah.
Rats, I'm sure.
Right. So he calls 911. You can actually listen, one of the articles I found, you can listen to the 911
Did
call.
you?
Oh, yeah. Of the guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. He's actually pretty chill about it and kind of chuckles a couple times.
Well,
he says,
I guess if it's a skeleton, it's not quite as alarming as if it's a, fleshy body.
Right. And there's pictures, which I do have. I want to show you some pictures here in a little bit. There, he says, in the call, he says, quote, "So I just called to report this. I didn't know exactly how to do it, but I just moved into the house. I'm renting it. Just moved in a couple days ago, and I found, between two of the walls, I found a human skeleton." And the dispatcher's like, "I'm sorry, what?" Like, she asked him to repeat it, and she's like, "Just a skull or bone?" Like, the whole... And he's like, "No, like, there's, like, a lot of bones. I can't see." He's, like, looking down. Yeah. So, like, within a few hours, police, firefighters, they have to break through, it says a bathroom wall.
Yeah.
To, like, get the bones out. Okay?
I hope his renter's insurance covers that.
Right?
The damage. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine then, though? Like, would you keep living there? And it said they actually, one of the articles was like, they're like, okay, they're kind of freaked out. Like, was someone murdered there?
Right.
Was their body placed there?
Right.
Like, what
I guess
the hell
the
are these bones?
circumstances would be... I don't know. Probably what I would do is make sure I took pictures of the entire thing happening and then, like, frame them and put them on the wall. Sort of as an homage. Right?
I mean, yeah, that's totally normal.
What's this lady's name? Susan?
Mary.
Susan was from China.
Susan was from China a while back.
Okay, sorry. Mary.
So they actually don't know. They have to identify the remains. They don't. People are like, "Oh shit, is this Mary? Like, what's going on? This was her home. She was missing." Like, you would think, but also we want to make sure, right? They're unable to locate any dental records. They did take DNA from one of the teeth and compared it to one of Mary's cousins, but it came back inconclusive. That was like her closest living blood relative, was some random cousin. The technicians with the Institute of Forensic Sciences, they used the jawbone that they found along with photos and a video. There's one video of her like at City Hall, like fighting this developer thing or whatever. I know,
I like her
Mary.
style.
And they based on like how she talked and how her jaw looked in the photo and how the jawbone was. Apparently she had difficulty moving her jaw, and the way her jaw moved corresponded with a condition they also found in the jawbone.
Okay.
And then autopsy findings were consistent with a small, frail woman over the age of 40. So it's
that's science. I mean,
right. So it's not like 100%, but like, come on.
Or
yeah,
she killed someone, purposely, that was her size, shoved her down there, and then escaped.
She took her identity
like,
and got the hell out of there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going
with. So yeah, based on those findings, I mean, it's pretty much her, right?
Yeah.
So basically, here's what happened.
Okay.
Miss Mary was up in the attic, like walking around with her 6 cats.
Yeah.
When a floorboard gave way. Okay.
Which they do.
Yeah. Here's a picture. You can see there's like the hole
I see it.
of the floor.
It's a hole in the floor. For those of you listeners that can't see.
It's a hole in the floor.
Picture a wood board, not there.
Here is a picture of her skull.
Oh, Mary. And is that her jaw?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that?
Here's her glasses.
Oh.
I know. And then the clothing, I'm guessing. But they said there's another picture somewhere of the tiny, it's a pretty small hole in the floor. Like they said it was about 10 inches. Okay? Which is enough to slip through, but you'd have to be pretty tiny. So,
well, let's just say I would be getting stuck real quick.
I mean, a leg would go through. It'd get about thigh.
My legs would go through.
Thigh high.
My gut would completely save my life.
And then I'd send my cats for help.
Yes.
And they'd go tell somebody. So she, the floorboard gives way. She slips through this like 10-inch
all the way
slot.
Down.
Lands all the way down on the ground between 2 interior walls. Okay, and you can see the space. One of them looking down. It's wider. Like it's not as.
Oh, like down at the bottom.
Down at the bottom.
Oh yeah. I see.
I mean, it's probably like 3 feet, 2 feet.
Yeah, let's
couple feet.
Go with that.
So, she fell down there and she lands down there and
that's
she
her.
just died. So, like, the question is, how long was she there before she died? Like, based on the size of the home, like, it does not look like a fall from the attic floor to the ground floor would be enough to kill a person, right?
Right.
So, like, the fall didn't kill her. She was just, like, down there.
Her bones were broken or anything?
No. So,
another starvation to death.
So, like, is that what she died? Did she starve to death? Did she scream for help? Like, did anyone hear this? If you're in between 2 walls.
Not with those apartments around her.
Right.
They muffled all the sounds.
So this poor, like, she was just there for however long.
You know what I love about Mary's picture? People, you need to look up this article so you can see what she actually looked like. She just has this look on her face like, fuck off.
Yeah. She looks like a little rough around the edges.
But like takes no shit from anybody.
What I mean. Like she's just like she's worked hard and she
I would have
doesn't
been
give
friends
a
with
shit.
her for sure.
And she had cats, and it's horrible. Like the story's horrible. Yeah. I need to find some more stories that don't end with people being trapped in a small spot and starving to death for a long period of time.
Well, at least you actually got a story that happened in the U.S. this time.
Yeah, I sure did. I went
no more China.
Homegrown on this. So pretty fucked up.
Make America great again.
Make America great again. Yeah.
With horrible stories.
Oh,
so that's already happening. Okay, so that was definitely WTAF.
Yeah.
Okay. My story.
Let's do this.
People. This one's short and fucked up. But not in the way that you're probably thinking. Okay. I'm not going to read the title because that just gives it away. But apparently this happened in Ireland of recent times. Meaning this year, 2018, 2019. The subtitle says, Doctors in Ireland didn't see this coming.
Ooh,
now, keep that in your head because there's a nice pun there.
Oh, okay.
All right. So here's this man. He apparently has horrible back pain. So he goes to his doctor complaining of severe back pain. And so he goes in and the physician noticed that his right arm was swollen and inflamed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Also, you just grabbed your left arm when you said that, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm dyslexic when it comes to left and right. That's a thing.
Not a thing.
It is a thing. Just made it a thing.
You just made it a thing. It's official. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh,
Continue.
my gosh.
His right arm.
His right arm. I'm pointing to my right arm now.
Thank you.
Okay. Red and swollen. Okay. And so he starts explaining to the doctor why. Okay? So the patient disclosed that he had intravenously injected his own semen as a method to treat back pain.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Injected his own semen into his veins because his back hurt?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just making sure I heard you right. All right.
He had devised this cure independent of any medical advice, by the way.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Like
pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we're going to wait till the end of the story to see if he actually is onto something.
Independent of any medical
This is the first reported. Now, not everything's reported.
That's true.
But it's the first reported case of semen injection for the use of medical treatment. So I know a lot of men out there.
Right.
Like to say that their semen is magical
and
can cure a lot of things.
Right.
But people...
That's not a real thing.
That's not a thing. Unless getting pregnant, I mean, that works.
I mean, that's what it's for.
Right. But don't... Right. It's just not medically
Don't
advised.
fall for it,
Don't
ladies.
fall for what they say, hey, I've got a cure for that.
Don't
Semen.
fall for it.
No.
It's never. Semen is never the cure for anything.
There's so many puns in this. These Irish people are hilarious.
They like their semen puns.
Doctors in Dublin wrote in the case study titled Seemingly Harmless Back Pain.
That's in the case study?
That is the actual case study title.
That is hilarious.
Seemingly harmless back pain, an unusual presentation of a subcutaneous abscess.
Oh my god.
So, the guy said he got a hypodermic needle and been injecting himself once a month for the past 18 months.
What?
Before visiting the doctor, he said he hurt his lower back while lifting heavy object and gave himself 3 doses. I guess right then, but then continued to do it. Yeah.
So not even where the pain would be.
No, I I guess he was thinking it's like a medicine.
Get it in your system.
I'm gonna put it anywhere and it will absorb into my back. I don't know. I don't think he's working with the full faculties, if you will.
Full syringe of semen there.
Mm-hmm. So the semen reportedly entered the man's blood vessels and muscles. An X-ray revealed air trapped beneath the man's skin, and he was immediately hospitalized. So they show a picture of the his arm with the air pocket of semen. Okay. I mean, guys.
Listen. This is not...
I know you think your masculinity is like the answer to everything.
What the fuck, though? Like, even if you do, this is
not just
okay.
No. So they treated him with intravenous antibiotics.
Semen.
His back pain reportedly subsided.
Oh. Just gone then?
And he discharged himself without having the infected area drained. Because he didn't want to lose that...
Gold. White
gold.
gold.
Ew.
It's gross. Disgusting.
Yes. So the doctors conducted a comprehensive review of medical literature and were unable to find any other cases of intravenous semen injection. Like this guy, at least now is in the history books.
He broke the mold.
He did. And not because he had a big penis.
No.
The study concludes with a warning that medical experimentation is dangerous and it's risky for untrained individuals to inject themselves with substances not intended for intravenous use. Translation, people. Don't inject yourself with anything without a doctor's approval, including semen.
Especially semen, I feel like.
What the actual fuck?
What? At no point is that would ever seem like a good idea.
No.
Mm-mm. That is what the actual fuck for sure.
It really is. It really is. But I just want to go back to the subtitle.
Yeah.
Doctors in Ireland didn't see this coming.
I'm trying to think of some ejaculate puns, but it's hard to do on the spot.
You said hard. All right, everyone loves a good penis joke. And on that note,
this has been WTAF. That's it. We're done.
Nope. Bye.
Shut it down.